Today's the day. You just had a pallet with a bunch of white boxes show up, and you're pretty excited. You did all the time. You put in all the effort, all the measurements, the math, the programs, the colors, the styles, and your RTA cabinets showed up today. There's only one problem. You see a pallet with a bunch of little white boxes on it, and none of them are in the shape of a cabinet. And there's a lot of them. Now what? Well, don't freak out. I'm going to take the anxiety out of the situation. I'm going to help you out. In this video today, I'm going to show you how I put together an RTA cabinet. And really, it's not that hard. It can be very overwhelming, especially when you first open that box up and it's jam-packed to the top with parts, and the instructions are about this big. Pretty bad. So, just hang out with me. Let's get rid of that anxiety. So I'm going to speed through the unboxing. You're going to wonder what kind of magician put all this stuff in there and how they packed it so tight. But believe me, the whole cabinet and all the drawers and all the hardware is sandwiched into this box. Right here I'm just kind of separating things out, drawers from drawers, cabinet hardware from cabinet hardware, cabinet pieces, front face piece, etc. Tools needed, there's going to be some glue and a screw gun, and maybe a mallet. Here's the parts from inside the box. You have the brackets, the screws, the hinges, usually the bumper pads, and this one right here is where the hinges usually come in. These two black screws you're going to need for later. Here are those two black screws, and I will let you know later in the video exactly where they come into play. So here's the pieces lined up, getting ready to put them all together. Here I'm going to show you where all the brackets kind of go. If you look closely at all the panels, you can see two little dots. I've just learned where they go, so I know exactly where those little dots are now. I couldn't get them to show up on camera. And here I'm going to show you where these little brackets here, they go towards the dado right here. You can see what I'm pointing to. Don't face them the other way. That would be wrong. You want to face them towards the dado, because those are where the other pieces are going to slide into place, and they are secured with two screws. Don't over torque these because they are easy to strip. Okay, take a minute or two and pay attention to which sides are glossy, which sides are not, and kind of get an idea before you really start doing anything and how this thing goes together. Basically, you're just creating a box, and those dados in all the wood kind of just put it together for you. You don't even really have to use a whole lot of brain work on it. But anyways, I like to add just a little bit of glue just to make the box a bit more stout. And once you get the pieces in, take those original brackets, now add the other two screws to kind of lock it all together. And here I have the side, the bottom. Now I'm about to put the back in. Again, line up all the dados. And if you remember those two black screws from earlier, well, guess what? Here's where they go, right here. And nothing stinks more than trying to put it together and you got to stop and go dig them out of the package. So now they're in. And I'm going to flip it around. There's the top bracket there. I'm going to put the other two screws in it. And then we're going to take the other side and put it on, line up all the dados, put all the screws in the brackets. And man, you just constructed your very first cabinet. Well, at least most of it. So here we are doing the toe kick. If you notice, there's like little notches right there. If you line it up where I'm pointing, you'll see how it goes in exactly. So just kind of put it in place there. Two of those brackets that we already put on are right where I just pointed, and now we're going to put the screws in to kind of lock that in place. Here's your front faceplate. When you look behind it, where all those dados are, you'll see little dots where the brackets go. Some have 4, some have 5. Just kind of look around, you'll see. It's pretty self-explanatory. And again, I do put a little bit of glue in these dados just to kind of lock it all in. And here we are. Put the front faceplate on, line up all the dados with your box you just previously made. Make sure the brackets are on the inside of the box. That'll help you line it all up. Give her a little tap, make sure everything's fully seated, and put the screws in all four. Lastly, we have the little corner braces here. They're just little 45s that they cut out. I think it's about a 1-inch wood screw, some more of those black screws. And they just basically go in the corner here, and you just cinch them in real quick and easy. One thing I will note, I'm going to show you in a second, that I don't mount them up top, like up high. I kind of drop them down just a little bit. That way they don't cause any problems with your countertop later. Don't drop them down real far, but just a little bit. Definitely not flush, definitely not above it. Next, we're putting together the drawers. This is kind of the basic layout of how they go. Front, back, side, all that, and the bottom. So when you go to put the bottom in, make sure the correct side is up. One side is smooth, one side is rough. And really just kind of putting these two together by hand just to show you it's just a regular joint. You just kind of push them together to lock them in. And then the bottom goes in. And then the front and the other side go on, and you have a complete drawer. But we're going to go back for a second and show you my little tip here. Is I always put just a dab of glue on there. Just a little dot, not a lot, because it'll all squeeze out. It is a tight fit. And then I put them together. Now here is where that mallet would have probably came in handy. Sometimes they need just a little bit of a love tap. You shouldn't have to smash it or get angry with it to really shove them together. It should be a fairly easy process. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. A little bit more mallet action. All right, so we put the box together. Now it's time for the little clips that holds on to the rails. These are bloke rails and bloke clips here. And basically, they have a right and a left on it, which is what I was just pointing to. And if you put it in backwards, the little dots, pre-drilled dots, won't line up. So you can put them in. You'll kind of get a figure out for how it goes, because if you get them backwards, it just doesn't fit right. The other thing I'm going to show you here is there's short and long screws. Long screws go in the back there, and short screws go right here where I just pointed, so that way they don't go all the way through the bottom of the drawer. Here are the slides, or rails, depends on what you want to call it. They have these little plastic clips. They just basically go in these little holes, and that way you can slide them left and right, put the two screws in, because with the rail in the way, it kind of gets a little difficult. And then, I'm sorry if this makes you seasick, but I'm holding it one-handed here, trying to get the shot and show you what's going on. But you basically just slide the rail back on it, and then slide it up here so it lines up with the hole. And the screw goes in the end, and guess what? Rails are in. And then you can just put your drawers that you just assembled onto the rails. Slide them in and out a little bit. You can play with the stuff on the bottom to kind of align everything up, make all the drawers look nice and pretty. But here it is, the end. Complete. Good job. Well, there you have it. We made a cabinet. Congratulations, you made it all the way to the end. Hopefully this helped out a little bit. Again, I'm Tinker Time 80, and I just kind of video things that I do that a lot of people ask questions about. You can check more of my jobs out on E&A Ward Properties on Facebook and Instagram if you want to see some of the projects we've done with these cabinets. But in the meantime, again, I hope it helped. Give us a follow. Give us a like. Say what you don't like. Tell me you don't like my beard. Don't care. Have a good one.